Uh, so we are live, and
Hello.
today it's our little special guest, Christian.
Hello.
We have a short list of players today, so just a wonderful filler session day. We've got Alverber,
Hello. Ooh.
and we've got Baron Dragonboard, our shadow.
Lights are flickering, so just a warning. Weather again if I disappear.
Ah,
Oh, great.
maybe.
Do I have to fetch Alvaro out of the Shadow Realm?
No, I'll be fine. Just if my sheet needs to be managed, you have my permission to do so if I disappear.
Like disappear from voice and everything, or just
Yeah, probably everything because I don't quite remember the login stuff for Roll20 on my phone. And also because of the fact that, if power cuts, everything's dead. So
Yeah.
That's
And you say
that's
lights are
weird.
flickering, so maybe we should just
I mean, they only flickered a little bit. I don't think it's gonna do much of anything. I'll actually check the radar on my phone and see what's looking like.
Yes,
Yeah,
please
probably
do,
do that
because I
before we
might
make a before we
change what I'm
make it.
streaming tonight.
Yeah, because we did have like some intense stuff going over, but I don't know how bad it is right now. Of course, there is wind too, so wind always likes to be a dick in that case.
Wind
as
likes
well.
to be weird.
Yeah,
Wind is wind, and wind is weird.
indeed it does.
Yeah.
That is not what I want to do.
Wind is bloody.
I don't know if I'd completely stop immediately though, because we have one viewer. Hello, viewer. So instead of labeling it as tabletop RPG, I labeled it as Pathfinder for once, because there is a separate Pathfinder thing.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. At the
Really?
same time, it's just one of these weird things where I'm trying to do a little world building session today. There's two people, and there's notes
Okay.
for people who missed.
So the radar still has a little bit of rough stuff going over us, but otherwise we're almost out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only just been updated like 2 minutes ago, so yeah,
You should technically be
should be
fine, I
fine
guess.
then. Yeah. We're starting to get out of the red and going into like yellow and green, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
Probably a good
Just the
sign.
wind might
right.
be just the wind might be a dick for a little bit, but all in all I think we are good.
So, Shadow,
I have
what
a cat in
happened
my room.
last time?
A lot of fun stuff. We start off by landing on an island after having left and taking a route to the island where apparently some unborn dragons lived. Found out they were my grandparents. Decided to stay on the boat because I didn't know what they were up to. Whether that it's good, bad, ugly relationship with the town.
Mm-hmm.
Got quote unquote kidnapped by them. Suggestion spells really weird.
It was a dominate spell.
Yeah, more specifically dominate person. But
hey there.
Hey, we got someone. Anyways, we're going to do a recap real quick. So it was Alvera, Zeros, and Seth all went to try to see what was up between me and my grandparents, and they found everything was fine, but Alvaro got caught and then got poisoned by was it Pit Fiend blood?
Pit Fiend blood.
Yeah, Pit Fiend blood. So yeah, if fireballing Alvaro wasn't scary enough, imagine that on steroids
so
and
in other
rabies.
words, I felt like I had rabies for a hot minute.
Yep, basically. So Yeah, that was a fun thing to resolve because we had to go find the pit fiend, and I assume that Bartok is still KIA from the event.
As far as you
As far as
are
we're aware,
aware, Bartok is at
is
least MIA, if not KIA.
yeah. So we don't know precisely, but it's assumed that likely based on where they're going, KIA.
Yep.
So
That is what you can assume.
yeah, because pit fiend lairs not fun.
Well, just dying being in a prison of a pit fiend, pit lord, whatever you want to call him, generally not a experience that mortals tend to survive long in.
Yep. So it's like, you coming back? Nope. Okay, probably dead then. Dang it.
Well, also, he's like one of the few non-spellcasters in the group, so he'd have to find various ways
Yeah.
to get back to.
Yep. Which means not looking good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's where we ended last session, was the end of the pit fiend fight.
Yes, and of course, Alvara's bloodlust rabies has worn off.
And I am currently absolutely destroyed. Because
Once again, I am sorry.
someone decided to fireball me.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. But I still wanted to point out for those who weren't there.
It was not
Yes,
entirely my
Avara
fault.
nuked me.
It was not entirely my fault.
Oh, come on, don't be a big baby. It was only 120 points of damage. Or, wait, is that correct? 1 second.
I thought you said it was
No, that's
200 something. What?
No, dude, I dropped to like 98 hit points out of my 320. Oh yeah, it was 230 damage. So I dropped from 328 to freaking 98.
It
Oh,
was...
Well, 120 was your
sorry.
base damage. He failed to save.
Well, the little glare thing that Alvara succeeded on made him take a degree of success worse. 100... For that ability, it also is just don't roll the dice. How many dice are we rolling? Take max. It's done.
Mhm.
It is a very fun ability, but it's a level 10 fireball, that's 20 dice, that's 20d6 to be specific, so it's
I
only
get to
120.
cook people, but not. I get to cook people, but
Yeah,
not
but
entirely the
doubled
people
on-
I want to cook.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
But
but
it's
double because of the effect, so it's 240, you're right.
Mhm. Yep. And then I had 10 fire resistance, so it's 230.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm like, oh, good.
Once
That
again, at
hurt.
least you didn't. Once again, at least you didn't become crispy, crunchy Raphael like last time.
Hey, he survived too. I'm crispy, crunchy lizard.
To be
Basically.
fair, I think it did around the same amount of damage.
Mm-hmm. It like percentile wise, yeah, I think it did.
Well, not percentile-wise, I think it did the exact same amount of damage, but Raphael has less health.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So,
Poor bastard.
today, we have 3 players, and I already said I'm not throwing you at the Hecaton Kiri Titan without Gavilon, because with Gavilon, that becomes that becomes a coin flip on whether or not you win. Without Gavilon, it's a very difficult fight.
I'm going to use the
With
thing
us
to
being
do
down both
that.
Bartok and Gavilan, we're not winning that fight.
Yep. By the way, just as an update, Will be back. He has some work things he wants to focus on for a bit. So he will be away for the rest of this arc and the rest of next arc, at the very least.
But he will return.
Yep.
Hmm.
But he's on a fast track through some promotions at the moment, and he wants to push it for a bit.
Yep. Which we wholeheartedly support, and we'll welcome him
Mhm.
back whenever he's ready.
But I just wanted everyone to be aware, and I haven't told
Mhm.
Lewis yet. So,
Hmm.
with that being said,
Log into
though,
Roll20.
I don't
Let's
even
get
know if
into
you need to
whatever hell
necessarily
we're doing today.
log into Roll20 today, Lewis. I don't plan on fights because there's 3 people, period. So,
Okay, I'm just
and
logging in case I need to make any skill checks.
I mean, Carl, would you be willing to patsy for Lewis today?
I could, yeah.
So
Just
if
to-
you want, I know yesterday was the drop of something you wanted to farm a bit. So if I have your ear and your words, that's good enough for today. I can have Carl make skill checks, and
Okay.
No.
I'm cutscene skipping like a degenerate, so that works for me.
Goddamn. All right.
Cutscene skipping like a
So,
degenerate.
So what kind of shit are we getting into today?
well, you guys,
Aside from fights.
you guys have been on these islands for a long time, but I don't think you've experienced them, have you?
Oh, really?
Not really, no, because we've been here for duty shit. We haven't exactly been here for just casual, like,
Well, it's not
no shit
exactly a
reasons.
place you'd vacation, but it might be something you guys want to look into while you're here and low on some people, and hell, might even just be protocol to wait around the area for a bit while you're waiting for someone to potentially make their way back.
Yeah. Suppose so.
So I need
So,
Zeros and Shadow, correct?
correct.
Okay, there we go. I have both sheets up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
We can begin.
And I'm also here. Yay!
Yeah.
So, I've told you a bit about the island, but where you guys landed on shore, there were the bodies and pieces of ships of several pirates before you got there.
Fun.
There's weird things about that, but most importantly, what's weird about them is the bodies are not rotting. Which,
Not rotting, you say. They still smell fucking fresh, too. Yeah.
well, I mean, they don't smell if they're fresh, Silver. And you're right, they do smell, freshly stabbed.
I mean, considering the amount of blood I've sniffed over my years, I can tell.
Yeah.
But
The amount of blood I've smelled and tasted is.
But also, they were killed by umbral dragons, too. So,
Fun!
the lack of decay is interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Fun!
Time to go visit family?
I mean,
Look, they probably want to see me again at some point anyways.
yeah, let's not run off that way just yet.
Well, yeah, I know, not just yet. I would like to investigate the bodies, see if there's a reason for it beforehand, but if there isn't any, it's like, yeah, probably better to ask them, see what the heck's going on.
So, how are you investigating the bodies? What are you looking for?
Let me see what I have first.
I felt like being goofy for a hot minute.
Ooh. Oh, that might be an interesting thing. Can I find any sort of iconography of something akin to either a deity or maybe something like a ward or something maybe Nihil put on these people to keep them from doing stuff as they're like basically what I'm trying to I would like to be able to roll religion because freaking 31, yay.
That might be
But
possible, but how are you inspecting the bodies? Is more what I'm saying.
specifically looking at clothing, see if there's any like etched iconography or on the body if there's any like tattoos or anything.
I mean, hands on or hands off.
Hands off at first, please, because I don't know what these things have. It could be contagious. What do you think I am? I ain't stupid. At least I'm sure
So,
Tech would hope not.
so as you are sort of gazing over the bodies, you hear a voice from behind you say, "So, it's pretty interesting, huh? Bodies in this place don't seem to rot."
Turn and see who it is.
It's Matt.
Oh, hi Matt. You aren't as chipper as normal. Have you had your caffeine?
Not a matter of caffeine this time.
Oh.
So-
Everything going all right?
I'll leave it
I,
for another time, but it's nothing that affects me per se. Just getting to one of those moments I've had on the islands.
Because I want to say that Over is probably also kind of scoping out the area too, but the funny thing I want to imagine is because she'd probably have a little bit of a better time, she's scoping it out in fox form, so she's like a bloodhound sniffing around right now. She's scoping out things.
Okie dokie. By
Foxhound.
the way, status is active.
Yep.
So I have this new status, Lewis. If I'm doing this, give me some brevity, or let me speak a bit. So yeah, no, the islands are a rough place. I'm guessing you guys may have managed to escape some of the worst parts during your training, but last 2 years I've been here working, shifting through all the mud and shit. This island is a lot worse than the others. Shadow, Earth to Shadow, he's talking to you.
Yeah, I know. I'm staring at him like, go on. It's like you've piqued my interest here. How is it different? It's like I was like, I'm not currently on Discord. I'm looking over. I'm making sure that I have the character sheets at the ready in case anyone needs to roll something. So I'm not
Well-
on Discord, so I can't see when you activate and deactivate the thing. So
Well, no. If I'm talking to you, just assume you can
Okay.
talk when the sentence is finished.
okay, I was just like not sure if you were just compiling yourself or what. So, do you know why it's different?
There are several reasons, but why would I just tell you all when I can show you all?
Just go ahead and point as in to say lead the way wherever you're going.
Before I show you, get Alvaro, get whoever else has got poking around. This place is not somewhere I'd want less than 5 or 6 of you poking around any individual place at a time.
Fair enough. I just go over and I just contemplate picking up the fox. and instead I just no, get your attention, just motion to follow. Because I'm like, I can pick you up, but at the same time I'm like, that's a person.
And she could shift any time, so
Yep. I have a strength, so I could technically still be holding on to you at that point.
yeah, but at that point, do you really want to be seen like holding a woman
Nope.
at that point if she shifts?
Nah, there's only one. There's only one that gets that treatment.
Okay.
Come on, you know it's Abishol. Come on. I'm not making her a
God.
jealous woman, thanks. I'm gonna dodge that bullet and hear it now.
You know what would have been funny? Had you picked her up in fox form, and then fastball specialed her over to the location she needed to be.
Ooh, I could have.
I mean,
I
I
just
think you still
remembered
technically could if you wanted.
the archer or the that one archery mobile game. There's actually like a knockoff Naruto that actually has like a throwable fox as one of the characters. It's just like keep the fox.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
Alvaro, go long.
I'm like, do I want to risk entering my? Actually, no. At this point, I'm like, you know what? You're gonna humor me.
Alvaro would not take fall damage. Don't worry about that.
No. Okay, yeah, no. I was thinking about accidentally rolling too low and then making her accidentally smash into a tree or something.
That would be fall damage in this case.
Okay, so yeah, no, Yeetus.
Oh my God. The
That's
fox
a
has been
natural
thrown.
2, by the way.
So, Alvera, you end up falling snoot first in the dirt. Like, literally, your
Ow.
snoot is buried in mud on the beach.
I'm gonna be sneezing mud for a bit.
Gather the rest of them, Shadow.
Just look around and it looks like everybody else is like passed out. And it just turns the corner. Probably, I'm guessing Zeros is reading a book or something, right?
Zeros at the moment.
Yeah.
What would I be doing
What
given where we
man's
left
doing?
off last time? That's a good question. Hmm. Yeah, I would probably be reading currently.
That seems to be one of your default reactions.
What
So
would
Yeah,
you
could
be
looking into
reading,
some stuff.
Zeros?
Oh, just
could be
some
looking into some
various
stuff.
texts. Looking into some things about the islands. I picked up a book on my way over here that told me some info that might be pertinent later.
Xiao just puts a book in the folds. Grab a bookmark. You're coming.
Right then. I go
I just leave.
ahead, fold over the ribbon in the book, and put it in my bag of holding.
Yeah, it's just
And
like
follow along.
making sure not to scare you, make you lose the page. Just make sure.
Matt puts his hand out and says, "Whatever you gathered already, hand it over. I want to show you something."
For the spell thing,
Yes.
I mean the only other thing that we got is the pit fiend heart thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just dig it out. I was next to the body, and I'm the only one next to the body, so I probably would have been the one to dig it out, probably.
And as you do it, Matt runs a hand over it, and it's a watermelon. Firstly,
Although I'm certain someone wishes that they had that.
Well, firstly, Pit Fiend, an illusion. Wasn't real. Saying it seemed real, had the power of the real Pit Fiend it was based off of, was not real.
Then what happened to Bartok?
Like I said, had the power of the Pit Fiend it was based off of, but wasn't the real one.
Hmm.
Very convincing. It lit up like a demon.
Yep. Well, the other problem is that even if it was real, a Pit Fiend heart would never have been a substitute.
Something did seem off about it, though. Like, normally they are a bit bulkier than that.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been an illusion of a juvenate.
Well, there's always flaws with illusion magic. Even the most convincing illusionists realize their spells are not 100% perfect. Despite appearances, there's always a fault in any spell that has an illusion to its properties. Well, regardless, let's go into town. Show you a few things.
Alright then.
What do I feel like?
Because I would have had a question, but you've said things that you said last time, so I'm like, I probably shouldn't.
And Matt leads you into town and he says, "Now, focus. Tell me what's wrong with this picture." Can you roll will saves for you and Lewis Shadow and Alvera if you can do your saves as well?
Already on it. We'll save for
Will, you said?
zeros. We'll save
Carl,
for
you
my...
have my permission to reroll zero saves for free.
Okay. Yeah, because the ability thing. Yeah.
Well, more along the lines of I'm not if he's gonna get a nat one, it's going to be on a reroll for free, you know?
Yeah.
If I'm going to get a nat 1, I'm going to re-roll that. And if I roll sub 10 again, I'm going to force myself to re-roll it again.
Which he just did.
So take
Well,
Literally, you rolled a nat
a hero
1, then
point
nat
off of
8.
my sheet, and
Okay.
we'll take that
No,
free
no,
reroll you
guys,
gave me.
guys. A 40 is fine.
40 stuff, though.
Yeah,
Oh, 40's fine, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I nat 20.
as you saw the town full of people, life, and happiness, you now blink and the town changes over to a bunch of corpses of undead. What did the illusions tell you? That they were being protected? No. It's never the case. So many towns in this place have been rampant with disease, undead, infections, breeding grounds for cults of deities of Urgathoa, the cults of Skinsaw, the gluttony sect of the Church of Nihil, to populate undead. The illusion of happiness, of prosperity, put in as a way to lure people towards this place. The illusion being so powerful that until this has happened once before, the only way you can really start seeing through it is if the people start dropping. I walked into this village full of undead, and I saw it full of undead. I had nothing left to do for them but give them a swift, clean, and fair death in that state. Their suffering being used as a beacon to draw in even more suffering. Such a heavy-handed taste of bitter and hopeless anger and sorrow. You see why I'm saying this place is very wrong. You
So,
understand?
yeah.
Good. Because we're only just beginning. There's always more when it comes to islands like this. Primarily speaking, well, I'd tell you to disbelieve where we're standing, but I don't want you all to drown. That sounds like a sense motive check on what he's saying.
Wait,
What
Matt's
is that
saying
again?
this?
Not saying
Mhm.
this.
And I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively roll for you because I assume you're gonna want it. You got a 40. Yeah, you got 46.
Well, Zeros, what Matt is saying is that if you were to try and disbelieve the island's very existence, it would fade away and it would literally disappear. You are standing on an illusion, is what he's saying. The entire island is a figment.
I see.
Very well. Let's continue. And he takes you to the other side of the island. And on this other side of the island is a temple. It's not something that goes underground, it's very open air for temples. And he says, well, I tell you to lead the way, but this place is a little tricky. And he walks into it and very quickly marks several points on the ground and says, look at each of those and focus.
Another perception check.
This will be another will save.
And our will save. All right, zeros first. 42. So that's your flat 10, and then we're all running pretty good right now.
So, on each of those spots, after you focus up a bit, you see. How would I put this? It's odd for an atrocity to happen to a single person. The closest you might think on a daily basis for an atrocity to a single person is being turned into an undead, unwillingly and unintelligent. This is a new kind of atrocity, and it's been committed against these people. And he says, and Matt turns to you and says, what's worse, the bodies never fade. Part of being timeless is even after death, you don't get returned to the earth without an accomplice. That being the maggots, the worms, whatever takes apart your body. But in special occasions, when sick, demented worshippers do things as you're seeing, things you probably don't want to think about, much less describe to yourself, to me, to others, they also tend to like to preserve them. A memento of their experience. This is Sven's personal place of worship. The very seat of which he practices his rituals. Well, then again, take a closer look.
Another will save.
Yep, another will save.
Ugh.
Hmm. So I got nat 1. You got a 40, so yeah. Reroll. Oh,
40
take a
will
minus.
be enough for this.
Okay, well, not sure about 36, but
No, unfortunately not that.
yeah,
So
at this point, I can canonically see Shadow like starting to his mind's racing at this point, and he is not looking happy.
and as the world sort of collapses around the others, you will see a dark black and purple void in front of you, and the ground around you swirling in that same black purplish mist. And Matt says, "If you see the mist, please leave the mist. If you do not, follow those who do very carefully." I'll meet you back at the ship. I have some things to do at the moment.
Will do.
So, takes you about another hour to get back there, and like 30 minutes of the walking was through the black purplish mist, by the way.
Mhm.
And once you get back to the ship, with all the revelations just dropped at your feet, how we doing?
Feels a bit weird. I'm questioning whether or not the other time Lost Isles are real at this point or all some sort of fever dream, and worried about that in particular.
Yep, that is an interesting thing for sure. What about you, Shadow?
Probably hyperventilating in the corner.
What about you, Alvera?
Well, for all through part of that, well, yes, I was paying attention. I was also trying to clean the fucking mud off my face and out of my nose, but also I'm like very fucking confused, and I'm like, well, shit, the
This
hell's
place
happening here?
just seemed pretty good, pretty nice before that, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, Shadow is crying in the corner. You want to do something about that, Alvera?
Crying in the corner and hyperventilating are two separate things, but two kind of go hand in hand, but not right now.
yeah. I'll probably like go over and sit by him and just kind of like pat his shoulder, trying what I can to at least like give company and find some sort of way to comfort here.
Alvera, would you mind
Yes.
giving me a sense motive? I guess would be the best way, because
Boy.
I don't think we
Perception,
technically
isn't
have
it?
yeah, because technically we don't have insight closest to perception, so perceive my
Well,
current
sense
state.
motive is insight. It's just a new
Okay.
name.
Yeah. So,
Does that
Also,
work out or
Alvera, you
not?
can use deception for that. You have lied to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I? Hold. I
yeah,
didn't
you
know
have
that.
lied to me.
I'm never remembered, nor am I informed. Hold on. I'll just
Don't
roll
worry,
that
half
instead.
of you aren't.
I'll just
By
roll
the
that
way,
instead.
Lewis, I am
That's
not
better.
targeting you in that half of you comment. I figured you'd already know that, but most of the time when I'm saying people are uninformed about their character, I do not mean you.
Anyway.
Well, so Shadow isn't trying to hide anything, but his passive deception is 37. So with that crit success,
God.
Shadow's having a mental break. Like, think Cyber Psycho David levels of starting to break.
Mm. Don't know who the hell it is, but I'll take your word for it.
When I say David, I mean from Cyberpunk 2077, the anime.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Okay.
Very down mental breakdown, like full psycho.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like, if
That I can
he isn't
understand.
reeled in, he's gonna go off the deep end and start just obliterating everything levels of Psycho.
And
The
about 30
Sarah
minutes
just there, like,
later,
trying to comfort.
about 30 minutes later, Matt comes back in and is like, well, you probably have some questions and concerns. But now that we're back here, I can answer them. Go ahead.
Yeah, so are the rest of the Time Lost Isles the same deal, or has this all just been a fever dream?
No. Unfortunately, almost all of the islands
Okay,
we've been
that's
to are
reassuring.
real. However, the real problem with this place is why they are here. What caused islands like this to exist in the first place. And, well, in certain cases, atrocities will create liches. In others, an atrocity will do nothing. What we are walking on is an outward manifestation of an atrocity. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. I don't know whose atrocity it was to commit or who it was against. But this land that we are on is somewhat of an illusion, visible only to those who can believe in the ground they are walking on. However, real enough that if you believe in said ground, you can walk. More importantly, everything on this island is more powerful than it appears, more dangerous than it is apparent, and more cunning than it might prove itself to be. So, in this moment, at this time, whatever you were expecting to fight for the ingredient you needed is something I am going to take care of. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Are we clear?
Yes.
Yeah, understandable.
Matt,
Go ahead.
Shadow's gonna turn, walk up to you, and with a ember in his eyes you have never seen before. He's going to say, "My family, my rules. I'm coming with. Whether I'm engaged or not, I will be there when they fall."
Matt looks at you and he says, I don't expect that to be a wise idea, but if that is your resolve, then just stay out of my way. Of course, we won't do that now, it's a little late.
However, just kind of proceeds to stand up. It's like, so, with what you said about that place being some sort of like lure for things in case, there's essentially got to be something else behind that, right? Other than it just being a lure of some sort.
It's the chaos of the time lost isles as they are right now. There's no meaning to anything unless you look hard enough to find it. And even then, sometimes the meaning of it is just because you can. I wouldn't put too
So
much stock into a
essentially,
deeper meaning to the carnage or bloodshed of that town you visited. Just try and look for something positive throughout this place. It's really hard to try and rescue something you start to see so many flaws in. It's not impossible, but it's taxing.
so even something like that can just exist without rhyme nor reason.
In this place, it's more likely to exist without rhyme or reason than anything else.
Because that's a very odd concept to me, but I
Well,
suppose it makes sense in some sort of way.
I mean, I'm glad it's an odd concept to you. I mean, it's not something a devil would be willing to do for anything. Too much chaos. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. Chaos, evil, both very prevalent here. Even the very people who say they are protecting the law, searching for justice, are protecting laws of chaos and justice of those who rule through tyranny.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't expect this to all make sense immediately. That's partially why I'm saying it's late. Take a night to rest on it, think through some things. Just get your head off of it. We'll head out in the morning.
Alright.
So, let's take our first break tonight. We'll be right back. Okie dokie. Well, now that your minds have been thoroughly
I'm sorry, did you
and
snatch that from
readily...
me?
Yes, I did. Nature's gripper snipper. Lobsters, of course.
You stole my gripper snippers to status.
Yes.
How dare you?
So,
No, my
anyways,
snippers!
now that your minds have been thoroughly fucked, let's talk about sleep. How are you all sleeping with the knowledge of what's going on with everything?
If possible, in the pocket dimension for safety.
Anyone else following
Because I
Zeros on
frankly
that?
do not know what will come from the aberration that is where this island is currently that we are docked at. That doesn't exist, but that exists, but that, you know,
You know,
in general.
it's not your first time having a situation like this in your years of multidimensional travel, but you'd have two
So
nickels.
It's not my first time, but if I was the party leader, we would be leaving right now.
So, are we back on the ship where the
Yes,
place
you are
is, or
back
what are
on
we
the
doing?
ship, and the fact that Zeros, who's seen a lot of shit, is like, yeah, I'm sleeping in the pocket dimension for safety.
I mean, to be fair, I think Alvaro is just gonna stay on the ship. However, she has not gone to sleep yet. She's just still kind of awake.
Yeah, my
Uh,
character would tell you that it is not safe to sleep here on the ship. If you were to ask him,
Matt
which
Yeah.
wouldn't help
is...
you sleep if you were going to sleep on the ship.
I will say Matt is going to be meditating through the night on the deck of the ship. So, you know.
You know, Alvaro has not yet gone to sleep, so she's just still awake. What about you, Mr. Dragon Man?
I rolled a fortitude save to see if I could calm down enough in order to go to sleep, and apparently, yes, I can.
Isn't that a will save, though?
Actually, good point.
You
good
can
point.
keep the 19. I just want to know what the difference is.
Well, it's a difference of 4,
So
it'd be a 47.
where are you sleeping? Are you gonna follow Zeros to the demi-plane, or...
If my headset was
Where are you
stopped saying
taking a
its
fat
battery's
sleep with
low.
the pH?
I would think the main reason why I was able to calm down enough was the sea breeze. So he probably just passed out in a corner on the deck of the ship, in the shadows, where he's actually hidden. But calm.
Lord.
So,
By the way,
yeah, probably.
Alvera, you want to make me a will save to see if you can sleep?
I don't know that if she'll be able to, but can sure try.
Oh, that's a 5. That's why it was so low. I saw 19 for a second. I'm like, Alvera! But no, Alvera, you can fall asleep. You have horrible nightmares and basically have the equivalent of being unable to fall asleep. Particularly, your nightmares consist of experiencing several other people who have ventured into the island, made their home at the place, and then been brutally murdered in their sleep.
Fun. In other words, that's why she didn't immediately fall asleep at first, because she knew that there's probably some shit going wrong here, and she's like, I'm not asleep.
And,
But I kinda need to
Shadow,
sleep.
you can calm down to fall asleep. Make me another will save to see if you're...
calm enough.
Well, if your sleep is as calming as your ability to fall asleep.
Natural 18. Or
You might want to take that hero point.
well, yeah, it accidentally hit frickin' twice, even though I clicked
You know what?
once.
We'll say
So
since
it
you
kind of
calmed
forced me.
yourself down, I'll give you advantage on that.
Okay, so 46.
So yeah, Shadow, your sleep is calm and collected, and the boons of Apsu have kept you from seeing the nightmares of what your grandparents have committed.
Trust me, I'm already pissed off enough at them. If they did that, it'd be saying, Matt, we're going now. I'm gonna go ahead and destroy some assholes.
I mean, if you said that, Matt's response would be to knock you out and go himself.
Fair enough.
I was gonna say,
Because
if
yeah,
Alvaro had
no.
nightmares, would she end up waking up again, or is she just like,
Yeah, so you'd be waking up 2 hours after being able to fall asleep.
amazing? Sounds like genuine couple of nightmares I had that I woke up like some hours later. And then fell back to sleep and then had another one and woke up again.
This
Just
goes
repeat
on
it for a
for
third
about
time.
4 times.
What are you doing now that you woke up after 2 hours, Alvaro?
I mean, considering the fact that nightmares probably like gave her some weird feelings, she's just gonna like get up and just kind of walk around a little bit.
You do know Matt. Matt would tell you all he's meditating on the top of the ship.
I mean, yeah, but like, she'd just be kind of wandering around underneath rather than like going up to see what's going on.
What
She'd just
Matt
be
was
kind of
trying
walking
to
around.
tell you is the top of the ship is going to be safer than most places on the ship.
Ah, okay. So I figured when you said that way, it's like, don't fucking come up here.
No,
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 it's-
no. It's
He's
like
not creating the death vacuum. He's
no,
not
no,
creating
no.
the death
If he created the death vacuum on top of the ship, your ship would implode.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so I guess in other words, if Alvaro's gonna be wandering around, she's just gonna go up on top of the ship. Drowsy as hell, but she's going up anyway.
And as you walk up, Matt smiles and says, "Ah, I see. Well, you know, don't blame you for you getting stressed about this."
I mean, wasn't exactly much stress, but had nightmares and woke me up. I've only had 2 hours of sleep. Ugh.
There's still plenty of night left, but yes, I can understand the fear, the hesitation, all of that. It gets me down in the dumps. Meditation has helped with that before, but in all actuality, it's just good to finally be able to vent out these frustrations.
Yeah, I suppose so. Of course, I've never really experienced this kind of thing before for anything I've done, but this is kind of a new experience for me.
Well, of
This kind of
course.
stuff usually doesn't bother me, but I don't know, something about it this time is not doing it for me.
Yeah, well, of course. This place is the closest to what churches like Iomade will tell you what hell is like.
Yeah.
Hell is a bit more
Ugh.
diplomatic than this place is, though.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I would recommend you sleep on top of the ship. Might be a bit cold with the breeze, but a bit less hard to stay asleep that way.
Yeah. I think with my usual fire things, I think I'll be fine.
Yes.
Might be cold, but I'll keep myself warm at least.
Hey, that's all you can do. And like I said, there's blankets, you know.
Yeah. I might end up needing one of them because I know my magma tends to cool off when I go to sleep. Since my body is relaxed and everything, it kind of
Matt,
happens.
while you're talking, clicks an orb at his chest, and another version of him appears next to him, pulls the blanket out of his bag, and goes sets it over Shadow, and then disappears.
You didn't feel like moving, did you?
Feel and able to move are two separate things. Believe it or not, part of the reason I'm recommending you sleep up here is because I am exuding my usual positive energy to get me in a better state, but also helps push away the void of the nightmares.
Yeah, makes sense. Xavier just kind of like laughs a little bit. It's like, can't tell you how hard it is having to like, you know, pick off rock every now and then off of my ears and all this. You know how muffled it sounds when your ears are covered in rock after you've cooled off? It's a weird thing.
Yes, it is. It does sound very weird. Now, get some rest. Well, you're very likely going to need it.
Might as well. Then she just kind of proceeds to just kind of like sit there for a bit before she just decides to like just lay over.
So, yes, sleep comes to you all, and when the sun rises, um, you meet back on the top of the ship.
Ugh. Great timing, all that.
Well,
Thinking about my character going to sleep made me sleepy.
I understand people's anticipation to go into the island again, but I'd prefer for you all to be there if one of you is going to be there.
Fair enough.
More importantly, and Matt turns to Zeros and says, while sort of gripping and looking at his hand, your interesting development with what happened before we used Save State Man. It's given me insight on something. I'm going to be making quick work of what we need to be taking care of here. Thank you for that.
What, the fact that some things remain permanent, or
No, the knowledge of how I used an ability without the typical side effects. Save State
what
Man
do you
doesn't
mean?
take
Can you
away.
clarify?
Well, Save State Man takes away the effects of actions we have before the save state, but not the knowledge we have of the actions we take. So,
Well, I mean,
the Victory
part of me
Star.
being me is that I don't lose my knowledge to begin with, because I'm sort of a transient being that exists from outside of this planet and communicates with myself. Think of it as like there's another version of me telling this version of me what to do.
Okay. Well, in this case, I'm talking about the Victory Star.
Ah, okay.
I have a feeling it'll be necessary and proper for these two, so let's get headed out.
Do you want the fast travel or do you want to go slower.
You know what? That is a great idea. And he snaps his fingers and you're in the cave.
Above board, Matt. You're an ass.
What, did you think... Did you not
I
see the
was
pole?
literally going to drop you behind them in the shadows, and there's a bloody decoy. Anyways, no going back now.
Well, I mean, Matt wouldn't have wanted you to do that anyways, but also, Matt's Potestas Eater ability, fast travel.
Nice. It's like,
My
you have
God.
that, I have that.
Well,
We both
it's the
have that.
difference between how the dub explains instant transmission versus how it actually works.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because yours is how the dub explains instant transmission, and Matt's is
Yeah,
how
I
instant
get it.
transmission actually works.
Yeah, I get it.
Anyways,
Those who actually know the dichotomy between the two understand the reference.
And Matt looks at Shadow and says, "Shadow, say what you want to say while I set up."
Do I see them, or?
Yes, you see them.
I assume that when I approach, they'll come to speak with me, so I'm just going to approach and see if they have anything to say.
As you start to take a step forward, Matt says, "No, not any closer. Say what you want to say."
Well, I'll go ahead and at least move in the clear view without going closer.
Okay. What do you want to say?
It's one of those moments where it's like, it's just hard to think of what I want to say, because it's like, oh, does Shadow just want to go off on him? No, he definitely does. He'll call their names, which I think it was Frank and Mildred, right?
Yes, Frank and Mildred.
Call them, call out to them, get their attention.
They're looking at you, not saying anything quite yet.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what I am?
The Paladin of Apsu. So,
Mm.
you found out.
More than that. But yes, I have. And you, of all people, since I know Mother has explained it to you multiple times, know why I'm here.
Oh, about our appearances, Shadow dear. And as you see this, they morph into blacker, more red to their gums, and their eyes turn completely red, growing multiple heads, losing their wings. Looking more like hydras made out of shadow and flame than anything else.
Seems I did
Or-
inherit something from you. But
Oh,
unlike
sweet
you,
boy. Your grandparents are somewhere far different.
well, I guess that could be a boon. So, but I must ask, where are they then? If you're
I wouldn't
so
worry
greedy?
about that. You'll be seeing them shortly.
Well, it depends. And I'll go ahead and like this entire time I would have been listening to see if Matt's ready. Would he be ready at this point?
Matt will start with what he's doing once your conversation is done.
Yeah. I'll just go ahead and give him a slight cue with my hands. Just got the quicker shot. And I'll let you take over at that exact point.
And Matt, in both his right and left hand, there forms two miniature stars, and above those pools about 40 gallons of water. And he says, in these hands lies both fate and destiny. In these hands are discarded light and darkness. And the water and the stars form at their peak. In these hands, fate and destiny, light, shadow, are decided and let go of. And then he pulls his hands together, and a couple of little strings appear and start turning them in. And he pushes his hands forward and says, in this moment, we decide how we walk our own paths in life, move our own ways forward, make our own destinies, and choose who we want to be. In these hands lies that power, and you all feel just a crush as the very air beneath you starts turning downwards, as the orbs turn into a slight little speck of light. And as they land in his hands, he catches them, and they ignite into a radiant, star-like cloak of water on his arms. In this moment, our victory has become complete. And he literally, pushes his arms in. The hydras follow into his fist. He punches them, and as everything around you becomes clear, Matt just turns to you and is like, and Matt just sells out, "This is the victory that I seek! Leviathan Devil, Twin Victory Star!" And you find yourself back on the ship as the island begins to collapse. Yes?
Above table, Matt, why do you have to have so many plot twists? You. Anyways.
Hey, you finally got to see the Victory Star in action.
Yeah, true. Too bad nobody else is going to see it.
That seems
Hey.
like a lot of exposition
Theatrics.
for what could have been solved by a nullify.
Yes.
Is what Zero says in character to Matt after he gets back.
And it's like my theatrics. Just also in character.
I mean, can Nullify kill two Hydras capable of wiping you out of existence?
It can undo the entire illusion of the island because it's a spell.
Oh, well, that part, yeah, but the Hydras weren't. The spells, they were the guardians of the spell.
Okay.
So, kill the Hydra, illusion topples. You could topple the illusion without killing the Hydras, but then there's Hydras in the oceans.
I mean, aren't there always?
No, Leviathans tend to eat normal Hydras. Those are like... You know how... I'm trying to think of a good example of this, but imagine a Hydra that even Mephistopheles would want to wear, some good protection on him to make sure Venom doesn't seek into him. Like, that level of danger to those hydras. And then imagine having to sail with the potential of running into them for the rest of for the rest of your entire life. I mean, sure, in a couple of years that challenge might be like next to pointless, but still not a fun time.
Fair enough.
Besides, it's always I sort of also wanted to test to make sure the knowledge I gained in that moment was indeed the proper knowledge. So that being said, let's both above board, and Matt will say this in character. Let's think about what next step is going to be while we're down a bit in manpower. So we'll be right back.
Okay, got it.
So
So,
we're not continuing
everyone,
the roleplay
looks
stuff?
like we are going to be heading out a bit earlier than usual. Thank you for joining. We'll see you later. Everyone say bye.
Bye-bye.